start with the news segment that you were on.
Yes, that was so exciting.
Yeah, and I had no idea.
I thought that was the preface of why I was getting the the invite, but here we are.
No, here we are. So yeah, talk about the news article, the news segment. It was Channel 12 talking about Chandler.
Yes.
And the economic boom.
Yes.
And specifically, hopefully, for black folks, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us more about it.
It was just so eye-opening because I did not actually realize the magnitude of the draw to Chandler. So as you know, I am a real estate agent for 23 years here in the East Valley. I do sell on the West Side too, but mostly my stomping grounds are the East Valley. So I moved to Chandler in the late 80s and began selling real estate in 2000. So it's been some time. And so I've watched Chandler grow. And a lot of my clientele, when they're coming in, that is the first city they desire to be in. And they speak to the diversity. They speak to, back then, I will say, the affordability. It's not as affordable, and we got into this segment.
Yeah.
But I recall Intel, Motorola, General Dynamics, when they were scouting, they would actually go to HBCUs or schools like A&T to recruit. Oh. And so I think that actually was somewhat part of the foundation of the affluency, because the the news station talked about the median income is quite high and the education level of African Americans. So that was eye-opening to me, but it was in unison of what I've seen over the trajectory of my career.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's interesting that they actually went and recruited at HBCUs. I did not know that they were doing that.
They were specifically going to HBCUs to pull in engineers and whatnot for their companies. General Dynamic, Motorola for sure, Intel. And I know a lot of those early recruits from back in the early 2000s that were just starting their career and have taken off and are all doing very well.
Starting families. So,
acquiring real estate, building wealth via real estate.
Which is a beautiful thing.
It is.
So you've been doing this real estate thing for 23 years. What got you into it?
You know, it's funny. I started in property management, and my manager at the time, she was like, you just have a gift with people. Back then we were very focused on conversion rates. How many people came in to look at an apartment? Did I rent to them? And so my stats were high, and she says, you should really consider getting your real estate license. Well, of course she wanted me to just do more property management, but it opened my eyes. I can make more money and connect with more people on a deeper level, make a bigger impact. Renting is not building wealth, I should say. So it that was the seed that was planted. I went and got my real estate license. I started in new home sales, semi-custom, which was huge. You didn't just walk into not only new home sales as a new agent, but semi-custom. That's a big hitter. So the alignment was there for me. The calling was there for me back then.
That's funny. I did that too.
Really?
In our pre-talk, I never mentioned that.
You didn't see all these layers I mentioned?
There's a lot of layers. So I was property assistant manager over at 19th Avenue in Northern. It was like a low-income spot there. And so I have a ton of interesting stories from them folks up there.
Me too.
I'm sure you do too.
My biggest one, the cat lady, I think there was like 15 cats in a studio apartment. Can you imagine? And then, of course, we'll just say the apartment that was lined with tinfoil and special lights and boxes of green stuff growing everywhere.
Get out. What in the world?
Back then they had their whole setup, making money.
Oh, dang. Yeah, that's pretty powerful. I had some of my top 2 favorite stories from doing that work. One was Okay, it happened to be this dude came in just mad. I'm in the back, right?
Oh gosh, yeah.
So leasing agents in the front. He's just popping off. Now keep in mind, this is what I'm hearing.
Right.
From them. I didn't know what was going on up front.
Okay.
So one of them comes and gets me, and I come out, and the guy's just a pleasant, nice, hey. Then they start laughing. The leasing agents start laughing because and then when he left, they told me then that, as soon as you came out, he calmed down.
He got act right.
He acted right. And, it wasn't like, you see me, I ain't coming out here, but, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And then the other story, there's a lady who came into she literally smelled like pee. She had the whole place smell like pee.
Oh, ooh, yeah.
And they came to get me, and it was funny because she literally was getting ready to sit down too. Once I came out, she was like, "Oh, there's the manager. Let me go ahead and sit down." I got the whole lobby smelling like pee. I was like, "Man, this job,
it's lots of interesting stories." I got some similar ones like that too. Yeah, property management is a roller coaster.
Yeah, I didn't stick with it. I actually was sticking with it. Things changed, and then I guess when you talk about alignment, it I guess it was a temporary thing for me. It was a season, I guess.
It was a season, yeah, but not where you were supposed to be.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Apparently not. Apparently not. So, but you are where you're supposed to be.
Yes, I love what I do. I have a huge heart for first-time home buyers, and particularly within our community. We unfortunately a lot of us did not come up with the education of finances, financial stability, building wealth, things of that nature.
Right.
We've been surviving. We've been in survival mode. So I use my business to use that as a platform to educate. So all of my buyers make informed decisions. And, it's my goal to change the trajectory of their life via real estate and investing. A home is where you build memories, and it's full of love if you fill it with love.
Yes.
But it also, what gives me extreme joy is when I see the fruit of that investment and how it changes their lives. It can be a college education for their children. It's part of their retirement. It's leverage for their dream home. Because that first home isn't always what you want. It doesn't have everything what you want, but we make a smart financial choice, knowing that this house is going to make them money. So choosing the right neighborhood, like Chandler. Chandler was one of the first cities to recover after the not recession, but the what do we call that? The fallout. I'm trying to forget it. but
the sickness.
When the real
recession.
Estate market bottomed out. That was a recession. 2008.
The collapse.
The collapse. Yeah.
The collapse.
That was one of the first cities to rebound. As far as home values.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What I like, though, that you do when I was looking through your socials is that you post the families.
Yes.
Now, specifically, I'm emphasizing the families because a lot of times we don't see that. When we see black families, like the most recent one, it was a couple with, I think it was like 2 or 3 kids.
Oh, yes.
And you have them all celebrating.
Yes.
And when you show that, to me, that's so important to show that and to continuously show that, in spite of all the other nonsense that's going on, we can still be together. We can still build strong families.
Yes.
And I love that you show that.
Yes. Well, I'm very client-centric, so it's about my client. It's about their joy, the other things that I just spoke to.
Yeah.
And I'm really big on celebrating all wins. We celebrate when we sign the contract. We celebrate when we close. And then there's more celebration. My clients definitely, most of them become my friends. So birthday parties and things of that nature. But like you say, giving that visibility of the cohesiveness in our community, the family unit. Because to your point, what's getting publicity and leverage is the opposite. And just like any other culture, we're multifaceted. We're multidimensional, and that is not always our narrative, right? And it's not the narrative. We value family. We value our children's education. We want safety. We want stability. So I like to show that because it's there. It's prevalent as well.
Right.
You know.
Right. Now, you talked about celebrating. How do you celebrate, though? Like what are your favorite celebratorial?
Well,
cake, ice cream. Like, what do you celebrate?
Well, I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but I definitely bring champagne to the signing appointment. Cookies, something sweet. You know, I can't go too overboard. Now, I will give the disclaimer that we don't drink it until after. So in real estate, you can't sign under duress or not in your right mind. So one could say, I was drunk. My realtor got me drunk before I signed these papers. So that's how we celebrate.
Right.
Gifts. You know, I'm paying attention to my client throughout the transaction, their likes, their interests, and or things about the home that are significant to them. And so my gift is specific to who they are.
Yeah.
And as realtors, we always want the gift to remind them that we care and that we're in partnership with them. So when they use it, it's like, remember me, send me to your friends so that they can have the same experience and the same level of care. Yeah.
Well, sounds like you do very well with that. And another thing I know you do very well with is the marketing and the branding.
Yes.
Because that's one of the first things I noticed. Because I've been following you for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the main thing I know you from is your Hi Friends.
Oh, hi, friends.
Actually, you should have did that from the jump.
Right. So they know, oh, that's her.
That's her. Where did you get that from? Like, how did that start?
Well, it's funny. I have a 13-year-old, and when she was little, I used to always say, because we actually come up stranger danger, right? Everyone is no. And I didn't like that message. So I'm like, no, these are our friends. And Facebook, it says friends, right? Instagram is different. But even though these people don't know me personally, I am looking to be their friend. Even when my new clients come in, I'm here to build a relationship with you. And so it comes a little bit from me teaching my youngest, these people are our friends. I give her discernment on danger as well, but people are our friends. And I am looking to be your friend and your lifelong realtor. So, hi, friends.
Love it. Hi, friends. Right here on the Central City Radio Studios, man.
Yay.
That's lovely. Lovely. All right. So I wrote down some questions here because there's some things I must know.
Okay.
Must know. You alluded to earlier Inglewood.
Inglewood.
You obviously still represent it.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
I see. So this is like a speed round. Your top musical genre.
Oh, I'm so eclectic, but you know, at my core, obviously R&B, old school R&B, hip hop. You know, Big Sean, E40. Even though Big Sean is from Detroit, it's still hard to resonate. His energy is LA. He has LA vibe. Cleo Soul. I am into alternative as well. I love piano. It's like African house that just gets me, excited. So typically, if I'm on my way to a client, I will listen to piano just to get my spirits cheerful.
I was just introduced to that genre a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm. Do you like it?
I do.
Good.
I do, because I've always been on. I like the Afro beats. I like all that, culture beats, as usually like reggaeton and all that stuff. So that's interesting. I didn't.
Piano.
Piano.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun.
Cool.
Makes you want to dance, like African dance, though.
Okay. Do you dance?
I do. I am a dancer. I actually shared some clips, and it was funny. My followers, I only did it on my story, so it wasn't permanent.
I must have missed it.
My followers, it was an E40 song, and I let loose. Like, I went back into time and in my heels
In your heels?
In my heels. Shook my tail feather. I'm dating myself by saying that.
Lord have mercy. That song was 20 years ago.
Right.
That was just a few years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago.
What's your favorite back in the day slang word?
Gosh. Dope.
Dope. Mine is skeezer.
Skeezer. Ooh, she's a skeezer.
I never used it in a sentence, though.
Oh, well, I did.
You just did. I never use that word in a sentence, but every time I hear it in a song, I don't know why.
It's funny.
It just makes me smile.
It's a funny word.
It's the funniest word ever. All right. And then tell me about the first car.
Oh, I loved my first car. We called it the red Porsche. It was a red Plymouth Arrow with a push button. That was 90s? Yeah, early 90s. Push button. It was supposed to be red, but it was so faded, it was pink. And so we called it the red Porsche because it was sporty, though. This car had to be from the 60s, but it was $500, and my dad bought it for me right when I turned 15.
Really?
And we had that car all up and down the I-17 and the 60 because those were the two
freeways
yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Man, I'm thinking about that right now. When I moved here, it was 96, and the 202 was new. They were building it, and it ended at the Red Mountain 202, and it ended at Dobson when I first moved here.
Yeah.
And you were here since before even all of that even.
Yeah, late 80s. So pretty much the end of East Valley was Gilbert Road. It's still hard to even imagine that. Gilbert Road was pretty much the end of the East Valley. I didn't go to the west side as much, so I can't speak to that. That was Chandler. Of course, that's where we moved to from Inglewood.
Man. Well, I tell you, it's been amazing to see the growth of the city. And I think that taking advantage right now of what it's offering and the different people, I think that you and I are in a very good position right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because people are moving here and people are looking around. There's a lot more going on, it seems like. It seems like the last 5 years, it's just been an explosion.
It's been a huge explosion.
Yeah.
And a bit insane on the real estate end.
Yeah.
For sure.
Where do you foresee everything going?
Yeah. Well, we knew, so everyone's pretty privy to now that we had an insane, we call it run up of our housing cost. And Chandler just shot insanely up. We knew the price correction was coming. It wasn't sustainable. And so although we're having that, what is happening? Our values are still increasing. Homeowners have so much equity, they can afford a slight deduction to help you buy down your interest rate or offset your closing costs to, leverage you to get in, because it's affordability now that has been impacted. Prices are higher, and then the interest rates have gone back to normal. That is impacting affordability. So we knew that was coming. I stay very close in contact with Arizona's economists. And I think that's important because the news is all over the place. The news is saying we're back into 2008 recession. Not even close. If you talk to Tina Tambour, who is our Arizona economist, she keeps us, we have hyperlocal data that keeps us in front of what's to come. So what do I foresee coming? Our housing cost will continue to increase, even though we are in this midst of a recession. We're kind of waiting for the feds to call it and really get data, jobs, loss of jobs, things of that nature that factor into it. But what happens once they have a good handle on the recession, all recessions, interest rates drop. And our supply is still low. And that's a whole nother segment as to why our supply remains low. That could put us back into a bit of an influx So if supply is low, demand is high again because interest rates are creating more affordability. We could get another influx of just the craze. So
yeah,
I'm not looking forward to a craze, although it benefited us as realtors.
Right.
It's difficult for your first time home buyers, and I deal with all social economics categories. But as I said, my heart is there with getting that person in the door, getting their foot in the door of real estate. Once they're in, my other step-up buyers, we call it, and our luxury buyers, it's just easy for them, but they've already gotten it.
Right. Having a conversation with Kalencia Sanders. How can folks reach you and get in contact with you?
Social media, as we said, I'm on Instagram, PHX Dream Homes, and social media, or not social media, Facebook, just Kalencia Sanders Realtor. My cell phone is always the best. I love text messages just in case I'm with a client so I can call you when I'm free. 480-233-3102.
I'm going to put that on the screen once they see that.
Yes.
Cool deal. Will you come back to Central City Radio again?
Absolutely.
Putting you on the spot.
I love it. I will be here. It's an honor to be here.
Cool.
Really
Well,
is.
thank you for coming, and thank you for sitting down and making time with me.
Of course.
All right. It's the Julian Show.